Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. We will be practicing a shorter Vinyasa sequence and we'll be working with triangle pose and variations of triangle pose. For today's class, it may be helpful to grab a block, but it's not necessary. For a triangle pose, I'll talk you through it later on in the sequence, but I'm a really big fan of grabbing up higher on the leg. So for example, oftentimes when we're instructed to move through triangle pose, the instruction to reach for the ankle or to reach the ground becomes the most important part, or what students hear, when in actuality our focus is really trying to open up the left side body or whatever side body we're on. So if you find that later on in the class, when you bring your hands down towards the ground or low towards the ankle, and you find that your side body is collapsing, much preferable option to grab higher up on the legs so that you can really focus on that lateral opening in the side body. So you could use a block, but I really do advocate for just coming higher up along the leg so that the focus can remain the side body. And with that logistical note, let's jump right in. We'll begin class in child's pose. Any variation you choose, knees could be wide enough so that the torso falls really heavy between the inner thighs, or your knees could touch. You could support your forehead with a pillow. We'll be here for a few minutes, so check in and make sure that it really feels good and beneficial to be here in this shape. And I now invite you to begin to deepen the breath. That breath shifts our focus to the physical body. And at its core, that's what we're truly practicing. How to observe the mental body by becoming a bit more attuned to the feeling body. We'll begin class with some box breathing. We'll be inhaling for the count of 4, holding the breath for the count of 4, exhaling for the count of 4, and then holding at the base of that exhale for the count of 4. So every component of the breath will be 4 counts. The breath will be in and out the nose. But before we get there, let's take a big inhale all together through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. We'll do that 2 more times. Big inhale. And full exhale. Last round, big inhale, find length. Exhale, ground down. Seal the lips, box breathing, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find your own rhythm of breath. And that'll be the anchor as we move throughout class. Make sure your arms are extended out in front of you. Take in a big inhale, get long from the base of the tail to the tips of the fingers. And as you exhale, begin to walk your fingertips up and over to the right, any amount. The movement can be quite minimal. Again, our focus is on opening up the left side body. You can stack your left hand on top of the right. As much as you walk your hands over to the right, you're anchoring your left hip back in space. Follow and exhale all the way out. Inhale, slowly walk your hands back through center. Find a neutral spine and breathe and pause there simply to feel. Next inhale, find more length through the tips of the fingers. And as you exhale, walk your fingertips up and over to the left. This time around, you can stack your right hand on top of the left. With every breath you take, feel the space that you're physically creating in the ribs. Next inhale, walk your fingertips forward. And then gently make your way to a tabletop pose. Curl your toes behind you, and then once again, shift your hips back towards your heels, toes curled under. Head is heavy, pressing into the palms. So we're going to move through some spinal waves, moving from this child's pose to tabletop position. As you inhale, you can keep pressing into the ground, navel up and in, so the upper body is rounded until your shoulders eventually stack above the wrists. And as you exhale, tilt the tail in the opposite direction, belly towards the ground, shift the hips back towards your heels. It's not an exact science, but as you inhale, you ripple forward with a rounded spine. And as you exhale, you tilt the tail in the opposite direction and shift the hips back. So it's this fusion between cat-cow pose and a spinal wave. Just a few more moments here. Letting the breath guide. Next time you find yourself in a tabletop position, you can pause there. Bring your wrist creases to face towards one another. Press your palms actively into the ground, and then bring the eyes of the elbows towards one another. As you begin to sway your shoulders from side to side, just exploring some discomfort in the wrists. So it's intentional discomfort that we can breathe into. Eventually finding stillness, and for a few cycles of breath, you can shift your fingertips back towards your knees so the wrist creases shine forward. And then you can stay there, or you can begin to shift your hips back any amount. Eventually finding some stillness. Flip your fingertips forward. And then for the last few cycles of breath here, just move the spine in any way it wants to move. It might be a few rounds of cat-cows. You might be moving through some big barrel rolls with the chest. Eventually finding stillness. And then walk the palms one hand distance forward. Curl your toes behind you. Glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. For your first moments here, feel free to move in any way you want to move. You can break the rules, you can pedal through the heels, you could sway the hips, you can move through some spinal waves. Just check in with the body. What do you feel within this shape? And then bring your focus to your upper body, pressing your palms actively into the ground so that your shoulders are upwards by the ears. Pressing the ground far away from you. The legs can bend any amount so that you feel your tail is the highest point that's lifted on the body. Next inhalation, you'll lift the heels, come high up onto the balls of the feet, and we'll pause here and refine. Keep pressing the ground actively away from you, navel up and in. And as you exhale, keep pressing the ground away from you, heels towards the floor. We'll do that twice more, breath to movement. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, heels to the earth. Once again, inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Pause here, inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Next inhalation, right leg rises, three-legged dog. And you can stack your right hip above the left. Feel free to circle through your right ankle or through the right knee. Move in any way that would create space for you. Eventually finding stillness, squaring the hips, pressing the ground away from you. Big inhale into the side bodies. Exhale, step the right foot to the inside of the right thumb, low lunge. Anchor your right hip crease back, left hip crease steers forward. And then soften your left knee down to the ground. Toes can be curled under or not. Hug the navel up and in, and lift the torso, rise up. Hands come right above this right knee. Simple pulses with the breath. Keep your left glute engaged. As you inhale, back away from sensation, back away from the lunge. And as you exhale, sink into the hips a little bit deeper. Twice more just like that. Inhale, back away. Exhale to sink into the hips. Last time, inhale, find length. Exhale to soften. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, hands to the floor. Engage your left leg. So now we're in a low lunge with our back leg lifted. Keep your left hand where it is. Inhale, reach your right arm upwards. Find an easy twist. Right knee stays right above the right ankle. Keeping your left leg strong and active. Left glute is active. Pressing through the left palm. Extending all the way up through the right fingertips. Stay with that even rhythm of breath in and out the nose. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale, Skandyanasana. Bring your right hand to the inside of the right foot and then turn over your left shoulder until you are lunging into your back leg. Keep keep your right pinky toe grounded so that you can really feel your inner right leg. Engage your right quadricep as you sink into the hips. Get long from the tail to the center of the heart. Inhale, come through center. So we're in almost like a wide-legged forward fold. Exhale, low lunge, top of the space. Inhale, step the right foot back to a plank. Exhale, elbows hug the ribs, knees down or not. Slowly lower down to the belly with control. Tops of the feet down to the ground, palms right by the low ribs, elbows hug inwards towards the side body. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra pose. We'll pause here on this first one. Squeeze the shoulder blades tight. Keep your legs engaged, lengthening through the center of the heart. Big inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down to the ground. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, heart to the earth. Last time. Feel free to repeat as you are, or you'll open your hands even wider than the mat. Come up onto tented fingertips, elbows point upwards towards the ceiling. Tailbone towards the heels. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower your right ear, your right cheek down to the ground and gaze over the left shoulder. Notice what you feel in the shoulders. Inhale through center. Exhale, lower the left ear, the left cheek down towards the ground. Gaze over the right shoulder. Feel what you feel. Inhale through center. Exhale, heart to the earth. Palms right by the low ribs, elbows hug inwards towards the side bodies. Curl your toes behind you, engage the legs, kneecaps lift off of the ground. On an exhale, rise up through plank, child's pose, or tabletop. And back to downward facing dog. Next inhalation, left leg high, three-legged dog. When there, feel free to open up the hips. Move in any way you want to move. Don't be afraid to get funky. Eventually square the hips. Wrap your outer left thigh downwards towards the ground as you press the ground far away from you. Big inhale into the side bodies. Exhale, step the left foot to the inside of the left hand, low lunge. Anchor your left hip crease back, right hip crease steers forward, and then soften the right knee down to the ground. Hug the navel up and in. Lift the torso, rise up. So shoulders stay stacked above the hips. Hands can rest right above this left leg. Inhale, back away from sensation, back away from the lunge. Exhale to sink into the hips a little bit deeper. We'll do that twice more. Bottom of your third exhale, pause. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Engage your right leg behind you, lift it off of the ground. Plant your right hand, and then reach your left fingertips upwards towards the ceiling, finding a vertical twist. With every inhale you take, extend your right heel back. Hug the navel up and in, lengthen the center of the heart forward. And as you exhale, feel your right ribs rotating under the left. One more big inhale. Exhale, Skandinasana. Bring your left hand down to the ground. Turn over the right shoulder until you are lunging into the right leg. We're grounding through the pinky edge of the left foot, finding as much length as we could from the tailbone to the center of the heart. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, low lunge, top of the space. Inhale, step the left foot back to a plank. Exhale, lower down, your option. Inhale, lift the heart, cobra or upward facing dog. exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, right leg rises, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot forward towards crescent lunge. Anchor your right hip back, left hip crease steers forward. Hug the navel up and in. Bending the left leg any amount so you can keep your left glute active. As you extend that left hip forward, reach the arms high. Right knee stays right above the right ankle. Find your breath. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale, airplane lunge. Bring your torso to a 45-degree angle. Palms face down, pinky fingers squeeze towards one another behind you. Left leg stays strong and active. Stay with your breath. Follow your next exhale all the way out. Inhale, open up to 5-pointed star. You'll turn over the left shoulder. Toes point forward, grounding through the outer edges of the feet, extending the arms high, sending the breath into the upper chest. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale to warrior two. We'll pivot our right toes forward. Bend your right knee right above the right ankle. Feel free to widen the stance. You find heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Like Skandinasana, we ground through the outer edge of your left foot. Engage your left glute. Soft and steady point of focus with the eyes. Sink into the hips, get tall through the crown of the head. Flip your right palm upwards. Inhale, reverse the triangle. Reach your right fingertips high up. Your right leg is straight. There is little to no weight in the left hand. See if you can tilt the tail forward. Hug the navel up and in. Find length from the right hip all the way through to your right wrist crease. Take in one more big inhale. And as you exhale, begin to reach your right fingertips forward, forward, forward. Left hip crease steers back. And when you feel you can't reach any farther forward, that's where you soften your right hand down. You might be like me. You could come right underneath the right knee. You could be reaching towards the ground, but remember our goal is to open up the left side body. You could be using a block. Extending your left fingertips high. Find a soft and steady point of focus with the eyes. Traditionally, it's towards the left hand. Hug the navel up and in. Find length through the center of the heart. Every inhale, breathe into that line. And as you exhale, feel the left side body opening up. Last few rounds of breath. You can extend your left fingertips forward towards the top of the mat. With every inhale you take, now find length from the left pinky toe to the left pinky finger. Exhales to rotate your right ribs underneath the left. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale slowly and carefully. You can soften your hands down to the ground as you rebend into the right leg. Plant your palms. From the strength of the low belly, lift your right leg high up and back. Three-legged dog. Exhale to half pigeon pose. Bring your right wrist crease, or rather, bring your right knee towards your right wrist crease. You can wiggle your right shin forward any amount. Feel free to support the shape in any way so that it feels easy. Easy is not the right word, so that it feels sustainable. Take in a big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly find your edge. Yeah, so easy isn't necessarily the correct word because we are trying to find that intelligent edge of challenge. It's growth, but it's growth that our system can trust. The nervous system is able to really receive what it needs from the practice when we allow the breath to guide. Take in one more big inhale and a full and complete exhale. Slowly rise all the way up, back up onto the palms. Curl your left toes behind you, engage the left leg, so much so that the left kneecap can lift off of the ground. And then from the strength of the low belly, lift the right leg high up and back, three-legged dog once again. You can open up the hips if that would feel good. Take in one more big inhale. And as you exhale, we'll come towards fallen triangle pose. First, bring the right knee towards your left elbow. And then turn onto the knife edge of the left foot as you step the right foot out to the left. Your right hand is your foundation. Extend your left arm upwards as you lift the hips high. Fallen triangle. Take in one more big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly release. We follow the same path. Try to make it as graceful as possible. Left hand down, rotate onto the knife edge of the left foot. And then you can lift your right leg high up and back. Downward facing dog. A few rounds of breath here. Next, inhalation, left leg rises, three-legged dog. Exhale towards high crescent lunge. Step your left foot forward. Left knee is right above the left ankle. You can bend the right leg any amount as you lift the torso and rise up. Let's break it down a little bit more. So we're grounding through all four corners of your front foot. Go ahead and lift the toes and then plant them down on the ground. So they're really planted firmly, but they're not gripping the mat. High up onto the ball of the right foot, engaging your right glute, tilting the tail forward, hug the navel up and in, reach the arms high. Take in a big inhale, get tall through the tips of the fingers. Exhale, airplane arms. Bring the torso to 45 degrees, palms face down, pinky fingers squeeze towards one another behind you. Soft and steady point of focus with the eyes. Inhale, open up, five-pointed star. You can pivot your feet towards the right. Hug the navel up and in. Find length all the way through to the upper body. Take in a big inhale. Exhale to warrior two. You can pivot your left toes forward. Bend your left knee right above the left ankle. Extend your right foot back any amount. And even here, notice if your bum, your booty tries to really tilt back. Left knee tends to come in. See if you can track the left knee towards the left pinky toe. Tilt the tail, stabilize this right leg. Open the arms wide. Flip the left palm upwards. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Straighten your left leg any amount. Get long from the left hip through your left fingertips, reaching upwards. Take in one more big inhale here. Exhale to triangle pose. Extend your left fingertips forward, forward, forward. Right hip crease steers back. And when you can't find any more length, you soften your left hand down to something. And before we do much else, right hand to the hip, steer your left hip underneath the right, stacking the right shoulder above the left as best as you can, and then extend your right fingertips high. With every inhale you take, get long from the right pinky toe to the center of the heart. Exhales to rotate your left ribs underneath the right. Last few rounds of breath, keeping the integrity in the side body. You can reach your right fingertips forward. One more full inhale. Exhale, slow, mindful transition to low lunge. Bending the left knee right above the left ankle. Planting the palms. Right leg is strong and active. Inhale, reach your left leg high up and back, three-legged dog. Once again, you can open up the hips if that would feel good. To half pigeon pose. Bring your left knee forward towards your outer left wrist, wiggling your left shin forward any amount. Taking a big inhale, find length through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, extend forward, leading with the belly button. We're here for only about a minute. Find your breath. Last moments here. And then we'll slowly rise all the way up, back up onto the palms. Engage your right leg behind you, lift it off of the ground. Really spread the shoulder blades, so work on puffing up the upper back as you lift the left leg off of the ground and extend the left leg high to three-legged dog. To fallen triangle. Next exhale, bring your left knee towards your right elbow. Turn onto the knife edge of the right foot as you extend your left leg out to the right. Press through the left palm, lift through the hips. Extend your right arm up. Breathe into the front line of the body. Fallen triangle. Carefully, we'll bring our right hand down to the ground. You first come onto the ball of your right foot. Really draw that left leg in towards the hip. And then extend the left leg up and through, three-legged dog. And downward facing dog only when ready. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Next inhalation, walk, step, or hop your feet all the way forward. We'll come to a seat. And then lie all the way onto our backs. This could either be a mini Shavasana, you could be in recline butterfly pose, or you might have your knees bent, soles of the feet down to the ground. Close the eyes and notice the breath. Stay with the feeling body. As you feel the belly rise and fall. And as you do bring your awareness to the belly rising and falling, I'd like you to notice where you feel the breath in the physical body. We'll practice 3-part breath next, breathing first into the low belly. Next is into the side bodies, the rib cage, the intercostal muscles. And last, we breathe into the heart space, the upper chest, the upper third of the spine. The breath is flowy and continuous. We just try to bring our awareness to each part of the breath. We'll inhale through the nose as we do. And as we exhale, we'll follow that same path with our awareness. First, we breathe out through the upper chest. Next is the side bodies. Last is the low belly. Again, the breath is in and out the nose. Any comfortable physical position you could be in right now. Taking a big inhale all together through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Seal the lips. Inhale, low belly. Side bodies. Upper chest. Exhale, upper chest. Side bodies. Low belly. Inhale, low belly. Side bodies. Upper chest. Exhale, upper chest. Side bodies. Low belly. Inhale, low belly. Side bodies. Upper chest. Exhale, upper chest. Side bodies. Low belly. You can continue with that same level of awareness with the breath. As we come into our last 2 shapes, hug the knees inwards towards the chest. You can give yourself a gentle squeeze. Feel free to sway a little bit from side to side. And then you'll open the arms wide, arms out to the side. Shift the hips 1 or 2 inches to the right. Keep the knees in close to the chest. As you lower the knees to the left, spinal twist. You can keep your neck neutral. You could also be looking over your right shoulder or your left. We're here just for a few cycles of breath. Inhale, bring the knees back inwards towards your midline. Shift your hips 1 or 2 inches to the left. Knees in close to the chest. And then lower the knees to the right, spinal twist once again. You could be looking over either shoulder. Just letting the body feel. Next inhale, bring the knees back inwards towards the midline. If there is any last movements that your body is craving for this practice before your final Shavasana, I encourage you to take them. But otherwise, Take up as much space as you deserve, as much space as you desire. Release even control of the breath. For the next few minutes, your role is simply to receive. You've created space for possibility, space to invite other things in. And now we integrate. Begin to once again deepen the breath. Breathing into the fullness of what you are. Enlivening the body through some small, simple flickers. You can wiggle the fingertips, the toes. Eventually reaching the arms all the way overhead, feeling a full body stretch if it would serve you. Rolling off onto one side of the body, whatever side of the body would feel good. And then finding a seat, no rush to get there. Eventually allowing the sit bones to ground, the spine to lengthen. Hands through to the center of the heart. With so much love and appreciation, I honor you. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that we continue to practice together throughout the rest of the month. And that is that, my loves. I will see you soon.